and new WWE champion, Paul Bourgon. Put your hands together for Paul, everybody.
One of you guys has a crow problem.
Our Father, for I have sinned.
On the lips? I can't even make my own stuff funny. How am I going to make your stuff funny? Like, ha!
Never have I ever had sex in a public location.
I've been a very bad boy.
That'll be 3 Hail Marys and a Blowski.
It was intended to be a fart, but it turned out to be more than just a fart.
Music to my non-existent ears, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Six Nuts podcast. I am your host, Dave, joined as always by Jordan Angus and Paul Bourgon. Gentlemen, what is going on?
Not much, man. I'm excited. The 6th episode of Six Nuts, and we got a big one for all 20 of our subscribers.
Yeah. You know what? We should mention that, man. We hit a milestone, 20 subscribers, including my mother, sister, and my dog. So, hey, that's big news for us, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you subscribe to things on YouTube. Like, I'm still a subscriber to things like that, but I tell people, like, subscribe. It's like, like I'm telling them to, don't forget to change your brakes,
Yeah, exactly. So, Jordan, you mentioned this is a very exciting episode because we're not 6 nuts today. We are actually 8 nuts. Jordan, this is something you set up. Do you want to introduce or just talk about our guest?
I'll do it real quick because, he's sitting in the green room. We don't want to leave him waiting. So one of the episodes, we did a segment that we're going to be calling Come At Me, Bro. And I was just trying to highlight comedians that we've come across or discovered, whatever. And it was actually this gentleman that we're going to have on, Alex Cunningham, that I talked about. We discussed about possibly having him on the show. I reached out and he agreed to it. So I'm very excited to have him here today. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pumped.
Yeah, absolutely. I did some research. He was born in Terre Haute, Indiana, moved to Los Angeles, did some comedy there, and he's now doing comedy down in the great state of Texas in Austin. Please welcome to the show, everybody, Alex Cunningham.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. I'm glad you think that my nuts are big enough to be considered full-size nuts to be the 8th nut.
Well, welcome, Alex. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit and just maybe give us like a 30-second elevator pitch of who you are and what you're up to these days.
Stand-up comedy. You kind of nailed it. I mean, you literally said my bio. Originally from Indiana, moved out to LA, and I started acting and doing comedy, and now I'm in Texas. Like, this is it. This is where it's all happening, guys.
Fantastic. Well, you've agreed to indulge us and participate in all of the bits that we got going on today. So the first one, I know you jumped the queue a little bit, but hopefully you're ready for this. We're going to start with a segment called Hold My Beer. So this is a segment where we each crack open and tell a little bit about and describe what we are drinking for this particular episode. Since you're the guest here, Alex, do you want to go first or do you want to defer?
I'm going to go first because, I love doing things that I have no idea what's happening. So this is my favorite. Okay. So we're going to pop this open. And for all of the viewers today, I'm going to try and say the name of this beer. We had to go with a Canadian beer because I've never had Canadian beer, but you guys seem like you're having a great time. So I'm like, you know what? 9%. That's right up my alley. So we're doing the La Fin du Monde.
Fin du Monde. Was it actually Fin du Monde? Did I call that?
What is it?
Yeah, it's end of the world. Yeah.
It's
La Fin du Monde. It's La Fin du Monde. Okay.
That's what I thought it was when I said, when you're like 9% beer, I'm like, is that guy drinking Fin du Monde right now?
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Well, can I try it?
Absolutely.
By all means, try it.
That's decent. I mean, you can tell it's 9%.
The only person in the world who's ever said that.
Yeah.
So, Alex, please, can you repeat the name of that beer, please, for our Quebec viewers?
La Fin du Monde.
I love it, man. I love it, man. La Fin du Monde.
Is that French?
Yeah.
Fin du Monde means end of the world.
Yeah, but in French, right?
Yeah, in French.
Okay.
Yeah, fin du monde.
Yes, absolutely. I'll never say that right.
I'm so impressed that you are drinking that beer right now.
That's literally, I went to every liquor store I could find. This was the only beer that was made in Canada. Literally.
18-year-old me who's going over to Hull is like so excited right now. 42-year-old me who is watching you do it is like, who knew I'd come full circle?
Nice. Paul, do you have an erection right now, or?
I mean, if I could get one, I'd have one.
Nice.
I knew this was gonna taste good.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So, all right. So we got Alex drinking La Fin de Monde. Let's move over to Paul. Paul, what is your beer of choice today?
If you know me, you know that I like root beer.
Oh my God, 3 weeks in a row, man! Woo!
Listen,
This is a
the
streak.
only one I have in
Baby.
my fridge. Okay, I do have
Nice.
another one. I have a hard, ginger ale, but it's not quite the beer. But I will switch it up for next week, I promise. But this is the last one that I had in my fridge. It is the Big Rig hard root beer.
Right.
Again, it's not anywhere near the Fin du Monde, but it's third week in a row. So if you know me, you know I like root beer. I like to stick with the beer. Here it is.
And how do you describe that? You said brown.
Yeah, I described it as
Brown and something. There was a little play on words. You did it last week. It was really funny.
It's
Long brown and something. I
yeah,
don't know what it was.
hard brown and goes and slides down your throat real nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm,
Nice.
sounds delicious.
All right. So Big Rig, just for you, your information, Alex, Big Rig is a local brewer here in Ottawa. Make great beer. So
Okay.
that's what Paul is drinking. Jordan, over to you. What is your beer of choice today?
Want to say we need to start getting some sponsorships from Big Rig. I mean, 3 weeks in a row, 3 episodes in a row. This is money for them. I was
that, but you're right. It is three. It has been 3 fucking weeks in a row. So
yeah, they sponsor us.
hey, at least I'm on time.
Yeah. I was gonna get an American beer, and I was having a difficult time. I was also on a time crunch, so I thought I'd stick to the fact that you're an American coming onto the show, and I would bring over a Canadian beer. So I got a Molson Canadian. It's not as strong as Le Fin du Monde, but if we have you on the show again, I'd love to coordinate that with all 4 of us to have that. All of us drink Le Fin du Monde.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I
So
think
you're drinking.
the Depanneur in Hull still sells them, and underneath the baby duck wine and the.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Exactly. All right. I will end the segment with introducing that I'm drinking Rickard's Red.
Yum.
I don't like this beer, but it was the only one that I hadn't done on this show yet. So I'm going to bite the bullet for you guys. Rickard's Red Irish style ale. So that's my beer of choice.
Nice.
I'll take one sip and then I'll probably dump the rest.
Don't waste it.
Well, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
And that was a segment called Hold My Beer. All right. So now that we got the beers out of the way, Alex, I have a couple of questions for you, but I want this to be like a free-flowing conversation. But I'm really interested for you to share with us, what is comedy like in the U.S.? Like, you did comedy in L.A., and you're now in Austin, Texas, right?
Yep.
What is the comedy world like down there in the U.S.?
I think it's great. It really depends upon who you are and where you're at, of course. I don't know what it's like for you guys up there, but down here, it's very hard because you have so many people that are like trying to push back and like, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't make fun of this or that. Which you guys are all just very nice people anyway. We're not, we're assholes, It's kind of like that. That's what we're known for. So
You don't know us well, man.
Hey, after a couple of these, I'm sure we're all going to be pieces of shit. Okay. But it's very it's tough because I love to push the boundaries. I love to make people uncomfortable. And I have definitely been met with, like acceptance in that. But also I've had people be like, you cannot say that shit at all. And I'm just like, I'm going to say it anyway.
Like what? Can you give us an example of what you've been
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a lot of things. So I don't know how much you guys looked into my comedy, but so both my parents killed themselves, suicide. And so I talk about that on stage. See the face that you're giving me, Paul? That is the face that some people give me in the crowd. But then, like we bring it back and we make it funny. And I have the people who are like, oh, you can't talk about that because it's insensitive to the people who have committed suicide. And I'm like, they can't fucking hear you. Like they don't know these jokes. And then you've got the other people that are like, hey man, you're living your truth, you're doing your life, like you keep talking about it. So it's this weird everybody wants to protect some other group of people that they have no relevance to whatsoever, but then you have the people that are like, send it.
Yeah, I got 2 points to make on that. One, I completely understand kind of using your trauma, but in order to cope with it, you try to make it light and try to make it entertaining and fun a little bit. I had a similar situation, well, not like yours, but I had a bad situation early in the fall, close to my birthday. My birthday's in December. They found that I had a swollen lymph node, and so they were concerned it was cancerous, whatever. And I was going to Green Bay, Wisconsin to watch the Packers for a birthday trip. So I made a joke about it, saying that my birthday trip is now become a Make-A-Wish trip. And a lot of people thought it was funny, but then, there's those few that are like, oh, you shouldn't say that. But it doesn't affect you, it affects me. And for me to cope, it's I have to find humor in that, right? So
exactly. Yeah. And that's like, I don't understand why people, because everybody's protecting someone, it's like, oh, you can't say this because it might hurt someone else's feelings. But it's like the people, just to your point, I literally just got booked on a private gig for this Sunday. A lady is stage 4 cancer. She's dying. She wants to go out with a party. So she's like, let's have comics come in and roast me. And I'm like, oh, wow. Who is this lady? Like, that is the way that I want to go out,
That's
like
a fucking rock star.
yeah. Yeah. I'm like, absolutely. And I was telling a friend and he was like, yeah, what you should do is go in and be like, Make-A-Wish didn't have enough money. So I'm like the Wish version of Joe Dirt. And I'm like, that is literally accurate.
Wow. And I understand it. I was just watching something the other day about how, like if there's something that's over the line or if there's something that makes people feel uncomfortable or whatever, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be pushing that line. And, that's the whole thing of what you were talking about, of what's going on nowadays is like, just because it's uncomfortable for you, and it doesn't mean it's uncomfortable for me or that person. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Signal out fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't let one bad apple spoil the whole bunch. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
What does happen. So, my hat's off to you there. For being able to push the boundaries, especially with something that's as like you saw my face right after. I was like, fuck, where's he going with this one? But
yeah, and it's hard too.
Fun with anything as long as you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really try. I stand on, like, I'll die on that hill, like with my parents, I'll be with them. Yeah. Like, you cannot not be funny. You can make anything funny as long as you do it with finesse, like, I mean, yeah, I could get up on stage. Like, actually, I was on the phone with the woman who raised my mom, my great aunt, the other day, and she loves hearing about my comedy. And she's like, can you just talk about anything? And I was like, yeah, like I can. She's like, can you say the N-word? And I was like, well, I mean, I haven't, but I'm good.
You better be good at it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And she's like, can you talk about the gay? I mean, she's a very old woman, and I was like, again, you can, but you gotta make sure it's funny. You can't just drop these things and just be like, no, I meant it all in good fun. Like, no, it has to make people laugh, or else you're just an asshole.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's because I have a couple bits I don't use often. I kind of scope out the audience and who I'm performing with, because there's one joke I have in particular that I know, depending on who it is, it offends them. Mm-hmm. But it is pushing the boundary, and it's supposed to invoke thought, right? As funny as it is, and it's like a little bit stupid humor, it's supposed to invoke thought. And just this one person in particular does not like the joke. They see it in a different angle. And that's fine. I just won't do it when I know they're around. But if it's my event that I'm running or whatever, I usually like to drop it. And it's because, again, it's just funny. It's not meant to hate or hurt anybody. It's supposed to make you laugh. Like,
See, that's why you're a good person. Because, like, honestly, if I know that there's somebody there that doesn't like something, I'm gonna double down. I'm like, this shit's about to get wild. We're gonna piss some people off today.
Yeah,
Is there anything you won't say on stage, Alex?
I mean, I haven't said the N-word. Now I do have jokes that, cause like this community, this comedy community is there's a lot of, black people in the, community. So I like to push the buttons, especially when they're around. I'm like, how far can I push this until I actually piss them off? And I haven't reached that point yet, but, I've got a couple where, I do this thing, which I haven't done in a long time, but I said, you know, like in modern society, it's cool because you put black in front of anything and people support it, you know, like black owned business. Fuck yeah, you know, but you can't do that with white, you know, white owned business, you know, but like black power, cool, white, you know, and I had one guy one time yell power, and I was like, you can't say it, you can't say it.
Like Paul does.
Sooner or
Paul
later,
has a joke. Paul,
when you make a mistake with a pen, it's gonna just be like you can't make it white out anymore. Like white out's the only thing
That's all I've got left.
Paul's got a joke, man. It's shocking, but it's funny. Like your black's joke.
Oh yeah.
You want to share it with us, man? It's fun. It's funny.
Well, I don't know if Alex would know this, but basically what it is, I kind of like in between jokes, I pop it in as if like, oh, I just thought of it. Like, oh, you guys want to know who I can't stand? Blacks. And then I wait for that. Like in my head, I'm like, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I try to draw it up. You can hear people sink into their seats. And I go, yeah, every time I drop my film off there, it takes like 2 or 3 days for me to get it back. It's like, whatever happened to a 1 hour photo?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, Black's Photography used to be a store in Canada that we had. But so,
I put it together. Yeah, but no, that's because I was like, all right, where is this going?
But like the trick is to be like, oh, you know, I can't stand blacks. And really just fucking draw it out, you know. But I've yet to be able to go 5 seconds. Like I can't.
Really? Oh man, I thrive in that. Like literally, I will if something I'm doing is like bombing and people are getting so uncomfortable, I'll just sit in it. And I'll be like, guys, you're uncomfortable. I'm fucking thriving right now. Like I love how uncomfortable you are.
That takes guts, man. So how long you been doing it? I mean, you must be really comfortable on stage.
I just hit my 5th anniversary on the 16th, so just a couple days ago. But I mean, I've been doing this my whole life, you know. Like I said, both my parents killed themselves when I was really young, so I've always made fun of that and been able to figure out how to use comedy in a way to cope with things, you know. So like class clown in high school and just, you know, just always been on that, you know, like you can't hurt me if I'm hurting myself with my own jokes type thing, you know. So I think that's where the comfortability comes in, is that like I'm not a great joke writer or anything like that. I just truly don't care. So I think that I don't want to say cockiness, because it's not cockiness as much as it's just confidence. You know, like I think that shows through a lot, you know, on stage.
Yeah. Speaking of stage, I got a clip. Actually, I got 2 clips. Jordan, Paul, do you guys mind if I play this?
Oh, play it.
Yeah, it's a clip, obviously, of you, Alex.
Okay.
And this one's called "Tastes Like Snot."
I asked a lady the other day, what does cum taste like? And she said, I think cum tastes like snot. And that fucked me up, because when I was a little kid, I always had a runny nose and I'd lick it. I just licked my lip. So do I know what cum tastes like? Yeah, probably. But it's fucked up, because now if I got a runny nose, I don't know if I'm licking snot or cum. Either way, it tastes delicious.
What a great bit, man. It's really good.
So
really
with that bit, that was filmed at Hyena's Comedy Club in Fort Worth, Texas. And so that, like, I asked, it's not even part of the bit. I literally have this bit about growing up in Florida and my ex-girlfriend saying that my cum tastes like chicken noodle soup. But every time that I do that, I point out somebody in the crowd and I always get these fucking crazy answers. I'm like, what does cum taste like? I had one guy, I asked his girlfriend and he said, ask her brother. And I was like,
Oh.
I don't know what I'm getting into here, but I'm very intrigued.
I was gonna say, like, when you said it come tastes like chicken noodle soup, I'm like, sit. It's like, well, oddly enough, she was never sick.
Yeah,
exactly.
and I tie that into it, and how I'm like it messes me up now because like anytime that my wife is sick or has like a sore throat, like I just the ideas start flowing.
Yeah, you're like, doctor's in the house.
Right. Call me Campbell's, baby, because I'm here to make you feel better.
Alex, I have a question for you. Not to divert from what we're talking about, but you're saying you're in Austin right now, are you?
Well, so I'm about 45 minutes north of Austin.
So were like, how was South by Southwest this year?
So I didn't go to any of that. It's just, it gets crazy. I drove through Austin at that point to the airport. But it's really hard, especially because you've got like Joe Rogan and everybody down there now that like.
Not to, I asked because I'm wondering, is there any performances? Like, because a friend of mine was telling me that they do incorporate not just music, it's of all kind of arts and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And they've got comedy down there and like it's a big thing, like it's a really big push, which is great, but it's hard because you have to be like in the clubs for them to even consider you, so if you're not part of that like upper tier, comedian base, then the odds of you getting on any of the stages it's very slim.
Which sucks.
Yeah, it's just that, the politics of comedy, which is stupid.
As you know, I'm not trying to take over here, but we like Just for Laughs was canceled in Canada. And so, like, we were talking about this, I think, on our last show, Dave and Jordan, about how, it would be nice if there could be some kind of if they can incorporate, some kind of a comedy show in that sort of format, like South by Southwest, right? Like, just music, right? It's a pretty good thing. But I guess I can agree with what you're saying. If you're not, if you're not touring the clubs or you're not a who's who and, that kind of thing, it's probably very difficult for you to get in, kind of thing.
It is. I mean, it's still good because you can go to the shows and, you can still like, I've got friends who are on it, but it's like, is it really worth spending the money to go down there and just like hope that I'm bumping elbows with the right people and, like, or to look like I'm trying to just kiss ass, like, cause I'm not one of those people and I don't want to come across that way where I'd rather just, earn my way by, putting in the work.
Yeah. Do you do this full time, Alex?
Yes and no. Like I own a production company, so we produce shows all over the place. And actually, in a week, so on Friday, I'll be flying out to Traverse City, Michigan, doing my first hour. So I travel the country and do this. But we produce our own shows all over the place, mainly Texas, but we've got shows in Indiana and in different places. So I do have a day job, but this is the main focus. This is what I do more than, just going to work in the day. Cause I only work like 3 days a week.
Right. So this is your goal, I guess, what are your comedy goals?
So I want to be, like Kevin Hart and Andrew Dice Clay are like my idols, and
Andrew Dice Clay. Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's hardcore, man.
Yeah, I got the pleasure of meeting Dice out in LA and he's exactly like he thought he would be, and I was like, this is the guy. But they were both, top. I mean, if you think about Kevin Hart, he's still on the top, right now. But Dice at the time, he was on the top, so like I would love to. I don't know if I'll ever be on the top, like I think everybody's dream is to be number one, but I would love for this to be support, like my wife and and be able to give, to people and just make other people that are in, similar situations or, where I came from, if I could make their life a little bit better, through comedy and, have the finances to back that up, that would definitely be success in my book.
Nice. Have you ever performed in Canada or been to Canada?
I actually, I feel like it's where you guys are from. They've got it's somewhere right in that area. It's a free comedy contest, or it's like there's a contest and then there's just a festival, but it's free to submit. So I literally just submitted to a festival, but I have not been there.
Is it the Winnipeg Comedy Festival?
It could, I don't remember which one it was, and they didn't even email me like my confirmation, but it was like, we never charge. We've been doing this for 25 years and never charged. So I was like, all right, well, like I don't even have a passport, so it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. So if I don't have to pay to submit, then I'll do it.
Yeah, it sounds like the Winnipeg one because that one's free. Yeah. Once you get a passport, man, you should come on down, even if it's just a visit. Come to the capital of Canada, which is where we're from.
Okay.
And I mean, we all produce shows. We can get you on somewhere, just hang out. Even we could do a live broadcast or something. You know, that'd be fucking sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like,
Amazing.
you guys have access to one of the greatest things in the world.
Snow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, Cuban cigars. I'm surprised you guys don't have Cuban
Yeah.
cigars in your mouth right now. I'm very disappointed. Okay. So I've got friends that one lives in Seattle, and he's like, yeah, man, you just, it's 45 minutes. You drive up to the border, you can get whatever you want. And I'm like, all I want is Cuban cigars, you bastard. But he is yet to go up there. So like, comedy is secondary when it comes to Cuban cigars. I'm like, I just got to go up there just for that purpose.
Our prime minister is Cuban, so
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, his father was Fidel Castro, right? Not Pierre Trudeau.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
You guys are thriving right now. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul, Jordan, do you guys have questions for Alex?
I wanted to know about. I just wanted to know about. Well, I got a question for you that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. There's when I was down in Austin a few years ago, I went to a place called the Salt Lick. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Do you like barbecue?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, not to pump their tires anymore, but I almost cried when I fucking went to this place. I sat in my car alone because my girlfriend at the time didn't want to make the hour-long drive out of Austin. And oh my God, that's the thing about Austin that I remember the most, which excited me, is why I asked you about the South by Southwest and see if comedy's going on. I know Joe Rogan's got the mothership and all that shit, but the food down in Austin, Texas, man, is, and I know, like you said, you're just outside of it, but the food you guys have down there, ugh.
It's pretty good. Yeah, we went to a place recently called Terry Black's, which is like super popular. It's like he had an original location, but then like his wife or something got it in the divorce or something. So then he created like 3 other ones. And so now we went down there, and it was great. They had more merch than like if you go to a rock concert for barbecue. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, it was so good. I mean, like, I've had a lot of meat in my mouth, but Terry's, it was number one. You know what I mean?
Oh, who's Terry?
Yeah, Terry Black.
There we go. Wow. I got another clip of yours, Alex.
Yeah, I love watching my own stuff. I'm super self-centered, so this is great for me.
I can't stand watching myself, man. I really can't.
On my good clips, my bad ones, absolutely not. Turn that shit off.
Well, I don't know if you'll probably like this. It's called Bop It, so I'll play this.
Oh yeah, this is a new one I've been working on.
Oh, this is hilarious. So here's Alex Cunningham, Bop It.
But my wife's been doing this new thing where she likes to have sex like a bop it. Like a bop it. A bop it. The tool from the 90s, the bop it. You know? She tells me what to do. She's like, bop it. Oh, yeah, see, you played this game. Yeah. Oh, girl. Yeah, tell me the next one. Oh, no, that wasn't part of the game, dirty girl. That was not in the game. They never said slap it. They do say pull it. Yeah, pull it. But then my wife will hit me with that last one, and she goes, ooh, pass it. Who the fuck am I passing it to? Fuck that. I'm not getting it back.
Oh, hilarious, man.
It's great to have someone like that in the background, eh? Like, you didn't know that woman, did you?
No, she was celebrating her birthday, and she was so drunk.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and she literally talked through everyone's set, and I was like, the one thing that she said during that joke actually added to it, so I was like, okay, I can't be upset because this is definitely postable.
Yeah. So how much of your comedy is crowd work? Because I mean, the clips that you post, a lot of it is a lot of crowd work, and it's funny. So how much of your set it would be crowd work?
It depends upon the set, you know. I do a lot of hosting just like on my own shows because I think we've got like 5 venues that we do every month. So
nice.
whenever I'm hosting those, I don't like to just give them the same thing. So like if I'm working on a new bit, I'll throw that in there. But then I do just a lot of crowd work just to get people involved, engaged, you know. So I'm very comfortable with crowd work, but if it's going to be a longer set, then you're going to get a lot of jokes, and then I'll just crowd work if I'm losing you or you didn't like a bit, like I'll turn it into a, you know, like a crowd work session, so then that way we can, you know, pull it back at, you know, like into my control. But it really depends, but I love posting the crowd work stuff because it's authentic and it changes every single time.
Yeah, for sure. I think Jordan, you do a lot of crowd work.
I do. I love crowd work, man. It's like you said, it changes every single time. The answers sometimes are funnier than whatever it is that I'm gonna say, and that always makes my life a lot easier, makes my job a lot easier, and people remember that, right?
Yep. Yeah, 'cause they're part of it. They're not just watching
Yep.
something; they're part of something, and it changes the whole experience.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love crowd work. You guys, I keep telling you, got to get on the crowd work, man. It is fun. The set work, I find it's hard. I do it. I do a lot of set work, but I like to incorporate my crowd work with my set work. So I try to tease the audience, and by asking them questions, I'm teasing you into my next bit that I'm using, right?
Yep.
So it's just playing with it. It's just you're kind of manipulating what the audience is going to make you say. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I always, because people ask me all the time about crowd work because I wouldn't say that I'm great at it, but I'm okay at it. You know, like I'm comfortable enough to get people intrigued with it. And people are like, how do you do it? You know, and exactly what you said, like if you're new to crowd work, that is my introduction. I'm like, use it to introduce your next joke, you know, because then it gets you comfortable with talking to the crowd and you never know what they're going to say. I mean, literally every time that I say, what does cum taste like? I love to hear the answers.
Sort
because
of like, hey, so does anybody in here like blacks?
Yeah.
Oh, they.
I don't want to be in that room when everybody else says no. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Oh my god,
that's a scary room for me.
Well, Paul's humor is. I mean, I haven't seen you every performance of yours, Paul, but a lot of Paul's jokes is like they're short one-liners. Like your hero is Mitch Hedberg, right? So you kind of model your style after him.
Huge
a bit,
fan,
Paul?
Mitch. Yeah,
no,
huge fan. You know, you can hear me, eh?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, Mitch Hedberg. I got to see him when I was 16, and I was just like, you know what I mean? Because he was just such a huge influence on me, and those kind of non sequitur, you know, one-liners are very. I just find them. I find there's a genius to them, kind of thing, and it's just the reason I think why I gravitated towards it so much was because of how funny I think it is, and how, you know, it'll make people. If it makes me laugh, it's gonna make you laugh, you know, and that's not always the case. But you know, I appreciate what you're saying, Dave. But yeah, Rich, you guys are talking about crowd work. You know what I mean? Like my crowd work, I just like I don't have time for it, especially in like a 7-8 minute bit. So
yeah.
You know, I usually kind of bounce from one thing to the next, and nothing has anything to do with the previous thing, but in a way, I kind of try to tie them together to have that, you know, that cool stand-up sort of package deal. But anyway, you know, enough about me.
Well, I mean, you know, there's a lot of material that I'd love to present, but a lot of it is really not that good, which kind of leads into our next segment.
Oh God.
Are you gentlemen ready?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready for? You can tell, Alex, the production value on this show is close to Hollywood style, but not quite there yet. But we're getting there.
We're working with Canadian dollars.
Exactly. Yeah.
I actually I get a lot of artwork done by a guy in Canada, and every time he is like, yeah, just send me like, you know, $50, and I'm like, absolutely, you know, so I'll go to send it, but it's always on PayPal, and then I'm like, Canadian dollars, and I'm like, $20. What? I feel like I'm ripping this dude off.
Exactly.
I send him $50 US, and it's like 120, and I'm like, I just made his day.
Yeah.
100%. So this segment, Bits That Bite, are where we go around the room and we deliver a joke or a bit that we've never performed on stage before, and we get comments from the other guys, either good, constructive, or I guess silence. So
we never tell somebody that they suck shit. We say it in a way that they know they suck shit, but it sounds nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Alex, since you are the guest, I'm going to give you the first right of refusal. So I'm not going to put you on the spot and make you go first, unless you want to. If not, we'll come to you last.
Yeah, no, I'm actually excited about this one because the other day I was going through my old notebooks. I keep everything that I've ever written down, and I came across this joke, and I'm like, I wish I would have used it back when I wrote it because now it's creepy. So
we like creepy, man.
Yeah, so it's like the older I get, the worse the joke gets. So I almost want to use it. But the joke is when I lived in LA, I was walking down the street and there was this group of religious people out with megaphones screaming things, and they kept saying virginity is cool, virginity is cool. And I told them, yeah, no shit, that's why I'm trying to take everyone's.
That's good. That's good, man. Like
it's good when you're a kid, but the older you get, the more creepy it gets.
It sounds a little rapey.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, would you like your own TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like Paul's Blacks joke. So I don't know. I mean, I like it. It's clever. It's a clever joke.
Yeah, I just, I think that's one that might turn people's heads. Like, did he say what I think he said?
Yeah.
Good.
That's good.
Well, I give it a thumbs up. I don't know what Paul and Jordan
thank
think.
you. Good.
I give it a thumbs up too.
I get a thumbs up. I think that would do great in like a frat party house,
yeah.
Because I've done
tonight, then.
Yeah, I've done private events for frats, and man, those are gonna be quite fun because you can tease that line, and then you're like, "Oh, is here good?" And they love it, and then you're gonna go way over, and they go, "Oh, whoa, man, whoa!" But they're still laughing.
He's in the line of rapey.
Right.
Yeah,
Call me Brock
Not maybe
Turner
heard
because
this.
someone's getting laid.
call me Brock Turner. Oh my god. Jesus.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right. No, that was a great bit. Great
Thank
joke.
you.
Paul, Jordan, who wants to go next? Or I can go next. Up to you guys. Let's go to Jordan. Jordan.
All right. So this one I haven't done because I don't know how to work it into my set, and I don't want to offend too many people, but I'm going to do it here so everybody can see it. So I was reading the newspaper recently. That's a lie. I wasn't reading the newspaper. I was reading Huffington Post. Anyways, there's a lot of wars going on. It concerns me because they're concerned about a certain point in time where we all might start getting drafted into the military. And I know that Canadian military isn't super intimidating or anything, but that poses well for me because I'm not intimidating looking either. 20 push-ups, I give you 15, okay? But I don't think I could deal with a hard ass sergeant. I need somebody who's like my mom's. So I'd probably need a gay sergeant. I even played out the situation in my head. His name's going to be Sergeant Slay Queen. And I think I would do great with him, right? He'd be so encouraging. He would agree with me that the outfits look awful. They're not sexy enough, and we have to have outfits that don't leave sweat stains. That's just not sexy, right? But I think he would also be encouraging when I'm doing my drills. He'd be like, "Come on, guys, let's get your squats, deep squats. Then I want to see deep squats, like you're teabagging my face. Ladies, I want to see you look like you're clam slamming your dads. Let's go, sweeties, let's go."
I love the lisp, man. The lisp.
Thank you.
That's the joke, man. Well done. Well done. So do you plan to do that one on stage or no?
It's tough, man. I don't want people to be offended by it, right? And that's especially here, we get a lot of oh, you can't say stuff like that. That's wrong.
Yeah. The worse that situation got, the better it got. Clam slamming your dad. I mean, if that's not in your bio on Instagram tonight, I'm gonna be so upset.
I will definitely put that in just for you.
Jordan Angus is feeling tired from Clam Slam. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god.
I need to Google what that means. All right.
Did you guys hear they just shut down Pornhub in Texas?
What? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so no
I'm
more
so
clam
sorry.
slamming here.
Why? Why did they do that?
Yeah, it literally was like 2 days ago. Like now you have to create an account and like age verify by like sending your ID, and like it's so stupid because they don't want people under the age of 18 seeing the clams getting slammed.
Oh my god! Wow.
Oh man.
What's
There's got to
the
be
rule?
like other sites you can watch though, or get like we had Hustlers and Playboy. You know, go back to the old school method.
Absolutely. Well, I used to have them, but you know, I could only get like 3 pages pulled apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those weren't your favorite pages.
No. You know what I can't stand? Blacks.
Yeah.
there-
Didn't you guys have a pair of like a rogue sock that you used? Like, yeah?
Oh my god!
I told my wife today, which I started writing this bit whenever I was going to buy this beer, that my mom had a '68 Chevy pickup truck that was parked in the back of our yard, and that was my beat laboratory.
That's your jerk off.
Yeah, I would hide all of my magazines behind the seat, and I would just go back there and pound away because I was like, this truck was meant to carry loads.
Oh my god!
Right, eh? If only it was the '69.
Oh my god! Wow!
I'll change it for the bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
68. I'll jerk off and you'll owe me one.
Right.
Touche, Paul. Touche. All right, Paul. Let's head over to you. Your bit that bites.
This is one I've never done. Actually, I don't know how. I didn't know how to word it probably, but I was watching this thing on Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, like about how when the cops raided his apartment, what they found, right? And they found like when they first went in there, it was the smell that they were overwhelmed by, and they found like heads in his freezer, you know, and they found like rubber drums with torsos, and then they're like, upon further investigation, you know, like as if like that they'd get to that point and they'd be like, we're good, we found everything we needed. Like upon further investigation, they got in this room and they found this shelf where he had made trophies out of their bones. Right, like a bone trophy shelf, and like you'd think that like if I was Jeffrey Dahmer, and like I'm not, and I would never do any of these things, but if I was, like I would make like 3 or 4 first place trophies and 1 like 4th place trophy, you know, just to fuck with the cops, because I know eventually I'm gonna get raided, you know what I mean? And I know it's not funny, but it's kind of funny if you made a 4th place bone trophy, you know, so like the cops come in there like, well, upon further investigation, sir, we found a shelf with trophies, and we found 3 first place trophies and 1 4th place trophy. And the detective's like, 3 first place and 1 4th place? And the other one's like, yeah. And the other detective's like, kind of makes you think, eh? It should be laughable, I say it, but the reason why I've never done it, but that's the whole bit that bites. It's like if I was Jeffrey Dahmer and I wanted to fuck with the cops, I would make 1 4th place bone trophy just so they could be wondering what the 4th place was for. So
Yeah, maybe add something like I guess the 4th place trophy just didn't make the cut. You know, like
something like that. Yeah.
Clever.
something like that. Yeah.
Ooh.
I was waiting for you to say upon further investigation, because all of this was fine, but once they found out that they was banging black dudes, that's when they were like, something's up here. This is a problem.
I mean, they found like if you ever saw it, they found like a fucking soup cauldron like full of penises. Like
And they were all black.
For
and,
real?
Like, kept their dicks. You know what I mean? So like you knew the guy had a sense of humor, right? Like
Oh my god.
making bone trophies. He's keeping fucking heads next to his ice cream. You'd think he'd be like, I know I'm gonna fuck with these guys, you know, like 4th place, you know, out of like little toe bones, you know what I mean? Like just I don't know.
God.
I find that fun.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why they call it bits for bite. Bits that bite.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, right? So, All right, I will finish off with my bit. It's called English is Weird. Never done this on stage. I've never rehearsed it. It's only been written. So here goes. So English is weird, right? Like a lot of words and expressions have the same meaning. So if you say the wrong word at the wrong time, it completely changes what you're trying to say. Like take the word father. Like if you hear who's your father, you're probably in trouble. But if you hear who's your daddy, well, use your imagination, right? You're probably ending in the back of a 68 Firebird. Is that what you have?
Chevy.
Chevy. But I mean, like, for example, the use of the word is so important. Like if they use the wrong word in Star Wars, that famous scene with Luke and Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, the scene might have gone something like this. Luke, I am your daddykins. That's the bit, man. Which is why it's never been on stage.
So that's how that feels.
Dude, do you want me to pop in as Luke for that segment, like for that bit, and be like, kinky?
It needs some work, but you know what? On paper, it looks freaking hilarious, man.
I'm a firm believer, and you got to try everything once. Well, not everything, Don't get excited, Paul. Okay, don't try. I'm not gonna try everything once, but on stage, you have to I know bits that are gonna be so bad, and I'm like, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna talk about it, and sometimes I'm surprised. Sometimes I'm like, wow, you guys actually like this. Like I talk about the fact that I've got a sister cousin. My dad had a kid with someone who just so happened to be my mom's sister. So I talk about this on stage and it's so uncomfortable, but some people think it's funny. And I'm like, those are the people from Indiana.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
As soon as you said sister cousin, I'm like, not only is that very white of you, but that's very American of you too.
Wow.
I was telling my wife, I was like, I don't know what it's like up there, but if you guys have viewers that have never met an American person, all they know is TV, and then they're gonna see this, they're gonna be like, don't fucking go there. I am not a good representation of all of the American people. There are better ones.
Wow. Well, we've had you for close to 50 minutes, Alex. I just want to ask one more question before we go around with the final word, and this is for everybody. But it kind of, the conversation kind of cued my memory to, or cued a question like how. I'll start with you, Alex. How confident are you in material that you've never performed that will do well? Like when you got a new bit, how confident are you? Okay, this one's going to work for sure. Like, are you 95% confident, or is it kind of you're not sure till you do it?
It really depends upon the bit, I'm one of those people because I do crowd work and stuff, and I'm not a very good writer, so I always tell people find the funny. I don't care what it is. I don't care what your story is. Find the funny. So if I'm on stage and it's this is a brand new bit, I'm going to try that one that we just talked about that I found in my notebook from, 5 years ago, about taking virginity. I'm going to send it tonight. Cause I don't care,
Yeah.
So, but I'm usually a firm believer in the bit, even if it doesn't go well. I still think it's going to go well because I think that if you don't believe in the bit, they're going to see that and they're not going to laugh anyway. So you might as well believe in it.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Paul, what about you? How confident are you in new material that it's going to work or not work?
Well, I was really confident with that Jeffrey Dahmer thing, but no, I tell you, I agree with what you said there. Just kind of find the funny, and I've noticed in the last little while with the things that I've been working on, or things that I've been doing, or things that I've wanted to tag on and add on to, even if it's a new part of an old joke. I've noticed that it's not so much the material, it's me. It's your stage presence that they are warming up to, and I've had a lot of people comment on that. I've had people even say the shit you say isn't funny, but it's that you think it's funny, and that's why it's funny, and that kind of as insulting and as much as that hurt, really meant a lot to me. But in all honesty, yeah, it's true. Like I've been noticing if your confidence is there, with yourself and what you're doing, then it's gonna have an impact on the things you say. You know, because half the time
100%.
the crowd's just waiting to go along with the laugh. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
those
it's true.
ones that you can the ones that are listening and really paying attention. If you get them, I always find if there's 2 or 3 people in the room that laugh really hard at some of my jokes, I find I kind of just like turn and like face them and tell them, because it's just like they get it. It's just the whole secret or trick is to get a room full of those people.
Absolutely.
100%. Jordan, what about you, man?
Depending on what the joke is, normally when I'm up on stage, I kind of just something mentally takes over, and the way I'm feeling before going on stage versus me being on stage is completely different. I'm a fucking nervous wreck beforehand, and then as soon as I hit the stage, it's like, okay, I'm at work. Let's get this shit done. Let's do this. Let's fucking tear some heads off. If it's a new joke, I try to incorporate it with my stuff, right? So regardless if it's not going to perform as well as I'm hoping for it to, the jokes that I have revolved around it is already getting people laughing, or my crowd work is getting people laughing. If I don't like how it's portrayed the first time around, it's constantly being revised. I always am revising my jokes. I might have the same material, but the way I lead up to it is constantly different. It's never the same. So your question was, am I confident with the new joke? I would say yes and no. No, and if I was, I wouldn't have it wrapped up around other jokes that I know are going to sell it really well, because I would just be able to go gangbusters and like, bam, here's my new joke. What do you think? Right? I like to play it safe a bit. So, which is weird a little bit because I do crowd work and I thrive off of. I love that shit. And I never know how that's going to turn out. Right?
Yeah, no, good point. Since we're with you, Jordan, let's end the show with final thoughts. We'll start with you, Jordan, and then we'll go to Paul and then Alex.
All right. Well, I just want to thank Alex for taking time out of your day to join us on our extremely successful podcast.
20, woo!
Yeah, 20 subscribers.
Killing it, guys.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad that you saw a little bit discussing you and for coming on. That means a lot. I would love to have you on again at some point in the future if you're willing to. Yeah. And thanks, man. You opened up a lot, told us a lot about yourself, and shared things that you probably weren't expecting to share today. So I appreciate that very, very much. You ever come to Canada, give us a call. We'll pull up our polar bears to the airport, pick you up.
Exactly.
Deal. No, it's been great. I appreciate you asking me to be on.
Nice. Paul, your final thoughts for today?
Yeah, same thing. I agree with Jordan, man. Alex, thanks very much for coming out, man. It was good to meet you, and I gotta tell you, I wasn't kidding when I said I'm super impressed. You're drinking Fade Moans at fucking 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and anybody who drinks Fade Moan is all right in my book. You ever come up to Canada, man? You got a place to stay if you ever need somewhere to crash before you get a couple shows or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, this 20 subscribers, all 20 of you. I mean, it's 20 and growing is what it is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Alex, final word to you where you can promote anything you want, your website, your social media, upcoming shows. The final word is yours.
Hey, thank you guys so much, Paul. Thank you. I will absolutely take that bed when you or when I get up there. We'll cuddle it out. I am only 5'2". I don't know how tall you are. So even with my wife, I'm always the small spoon. Just so you know, I like my back to be warm. So I've heard it's cold in Canada. You what?
Yeah, I like my front to be warm. So
good. So we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna fit together. As long as my hair doesn't get locked into your beard, I think we're gonna be fine. But
it's not my beard you got to worry about getting locked into. Oh, your final thought.
But no, this has been great, and I appreciate you guys so much. If all 20 of you want to follow me, all of my stuff is at The Real Alex Cunningham on all of the platforms. RealAlexCunningham.com for all of my upcoming shows. I've got too many to name. I mean, I literally have one that as soon as we get off here, I got to go to that one. Things are doing really well, and I am beyond humbled, by the the amount of support that I've gotten recently, so it really means a lot. I was telling my friends that like I've got dudes from Canada that are talking about me, and like I am a bitch, so I'm gonna say it. Like thank you guys so much, because it really it shows that like the things that we're doing, it matters, and even if you don't feel like it does, like sometime you're gonna have some random dudes that some of them look like you, some of them look like Paul, that appreciate what you're doing, and it'll change your whole week. So thank you guys so much, and anytime you guys need a guest, like I will absolutely be there. But absolutely, I'm gonna come up to Canada now, and I'm gonna sleep in every one of your beds.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet.
Well, we will hold you to that. So we know you got to go. So thank you so much, Alex. Really appreciate it. Thanks as always to Paul and Jordan, and we will see you all next episode. So thanks again, Alex, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
And new WWE champion, Paul Bourgon. Put your hands together for Paul, everybody.
One of you guys has a crow problem.
Our Father, for I have sinned.
On the lips. I can't even make my own stuff funny. How am I going to make yours?